You see this ice melting? So are our icebergs, just a trillion times bigger. So we are all aware of global warming, right? I'm afraid I am wrong. Because we have emitted 50% more carbon dioxide in the year 2019 than the year 2000, which is the primary cause of global warming. So what is exactly global warming? And why is it so hard to stop global warming? Global warming is the long-term heating of the Earth's climatic conditions due to human factors like burning fossil fuels, emitting greenhouse gases, etc. Adding to this, after the Industrial Revolution, the average world's temperature has increased in a record pace, and experts say that the trend is accelerating. You ask for proof? The 16 hottest years in NASA's 134-year-old history have occurred since 2000, which simply means that the hottest 16 years of human history has been recorded between 2000 to 2020. And according to many scientists, this is going to be worse. Which brings us to our next topic. Why are the ice caps in North Pole and South Pole only melting? It should be reversed, right? All the pollution is happening in between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. So the effect must be felt near the equators. Why the ice caps are melting? The answer lies in this data. This picture also slams the faces of the people who say, 1 degree is very less. I don't even feel the difference between 18 degree and 90 degree in my air conditioner. 1 degree is very less. First of all, the picture is from 1980 data. Because making this data takes a lot of effort, it seems. I don't know, but appreciate their effort. And secondly, when we think of global warming, 1 degree seems very insignificant and very tiny, very small. Not only it is true that 1 degree Celsius can have significant impact on climate, but this 1 degree change masks a large variation across the world. Firstly, the global average temperature rise is usually given as the combined temperature change across both land and sea surface. But it's important to note that inland the temperature changes very quickly, both warming and cooling down very fast when compared to oceanic areas. Since the northern hemisphere has more land, it means that the rapidness of change in temperature is higher in the northern hemisphere than the southern hemisphere. Secondly, from the map shown, we can see that the 1 degree mark has very different applications all over the world. At very high latitudes, especially near the poles, warming has been upwards of 3 degrees Celsius, and in some cases exceeding 6 degrees Celsius too. These are unfortunately often the regions experiencing ice cap melting, glacier melting, sea ice and glacier melt. You can see in this chart how much CO2 world emits. And if we go on in the same trajectory, I have no words to describe the situation. In this graph you can see if there are no government policies, how bad the climate change would be. Which brings us to our next difficulty to stop climate change: lack of strict government policies. In November 2015, 197 different countries came to Paris, agreed to take climate change seriously and ensured right measures to reduce their carbon footprint. Their ultimate aim was to stop global warming at 1.5 degrees Celsius mark. Well, then we are all set to eliminate climate change. Hooray! No, that's not true. Here is the bad news. With the current pledges and targets, the world will still heat up to 2.5 degrees Celsius to 2.8 degrees Celsius. And that's considering the goal. But right now, according to climateactiontracker.org, we will still reach 3.2 degrees mark. This makes two things very clear. Number one, countries have not made goals ambitious enough to even reach 2 degree mark. Forget about 1.5 degrees Celsius mark according to Paris Agreement. Number two, countries are not even delivering on their unambitious targets, which simply means that this would only slow the process of climate change, but we need to do more than that. Take United States for example, which is one of the highest polluters in the world. It had withdrawn itself from Paris Agreement in 2017. This has weakened the Paris Agreement. In the same graph you can see that how crucial is the role of government to make new policies, strict rules, and also ensuring that the rules are followed. Number one, governments have to be strict with MNCs and big corporations to ensure the prevention of emitting hazardous gases to the air. Number two, government have to spread the message of climate change and be role model to the society. Like the European Union, it has aimed to be carbon neutral by 2050. Very good. Many people do not know what is climate change, which brings us to our next topic. It's people's responsibility. Because relax, there's nothing you can do about the climate change unless you work for a company or live in a city or own a phone or a brain. It is in our hands to reduce our carbon footprint. How much ever government keeps restrictions, fines, policies, it is on the people to follow that. Now, the economic growth, which simply means getting richer. Getting richer also means that our lifestyle produces more carbon dioxide. For example, a programmer in the US has more carbon footprint than 50 farmers in Uganda. World's wealth is increasing everywhere, though not uniformly, which you have seen in this video, but increasing wealth means increasing carbon footprint. For example, poor has a dream to ride a car. When he gets a bit richer, he wants to take a flight. When he gets more richer, he wants a private jet. That blows all the metrics of carbon footprint. Economic growth is not going anywhere. It will stay with us until the humanity is alive. Economic growth also brings us new efficient technologies into the world. Means we use less energy to do the same amount of work without any wastage of energy. You will also not waste your energy if you subscribe to the channel. Go subscribe. The more efficient something is, it uses less energy to do the same work. But increasing efficiency is alone not the solution for climate change because of three main reasons. Number one, once something becomes efficient, we tend to use it more. For example, in 1950s or 1960s, there would be a single lamp in the entire house. But right now we use chandeliers, decorative lights, ceiling lights, false ceiling lights. One single room has 5 to 6 different types of LED lights. Overall, what I meant to say is, increasing efficiency does not lead to decrease in energy consumption. When planes became more efficient and cheaper, millions of people started to fly. Number two, we must see the source of energy used to make something efficient. Like for example, electric cars are trending all over the world. Electric cars do not emit carbon dioxide, but making these cars does. You might have seen in this video. And moreover, the source of electricity is only 15% renewable. Rest 85% of the electricity comes from coal. You can check out my video here which explains this only. Number 3, indirect effect. Now you have saved money by using everything efficient in your house. Now you have a little bit more money in your savings, which you may take the privilege to travel all over the world using a flight, which simply means by saving money on fuel, you are spending it on air ticket. And if you know, airplane has a higher carbon footprint than a diesel car. In this situation, you are emitting more carbon dioxide, in fact having the most efficient car. Well, efficient cars need to be innovated, which brings us to our next topic, that is innovation. So right now it is impossible to shut down the coal-powered power plants without letting humanity in chaos. But the reality is here, we are not doing really enough to eliminate climate change and use carbon-free alternatives. Sure, we can leave nuclear power plants online for longer. We can put more tax on carbon-emitting industries and motivate people to switch. We could fund renewable instead of coal power plants. We could give strong incentives to clean green sectors. We can enforce strict standards to inefficient technologies. We can restrict construction industries from polluting. But all this will go waste without investing in new technologies. Without technology and innovation, it would be impossible to achieve zero emission world. That too in short little time. We need to innovate. Maybe that's carbon capture. Video about that coming soon. Subscribe. Or revolutionary battery technology, or highly efficient solar panels, or hydrogen fueled cars, or electric planes. Check out my video on electric planes here. Everything needs to be innovated. And if you are a bit older than me, you might know that innovation takes time, research, and infinite amount of funds to innovate. So bringing new technologies and inventing new efficient ways is very important to reduce the carbon footprint. There are a lot of opportunities to innovate, and human imagination could go wild. It also takes years or decades for a technology to become mainstream. But unfortunately, we do not have much time. Every year we keep on adding carbon dioxide to our environment. So relying on innovation alone cannot save the world. We need to invest and take action today to decrease emissions. We shall give innovation enough time to innovate before hitting that 2-degree mark. The less fossil fuel we burn, the less carbon emission is emitted. And the more time we give to innovation to innovate the needs of the future world, the more carbon-free infrastructure we integrate with our current world, the more time we give to efficiency and economic development. Neither only the innovation or only the alternatives can save the world from climate change. We need to find a good balance between the both. So, why is it so hard to stop global warming? Well, I think we have answered this question. Number 1, lack of government policies. Number 2, lack of people support. Number 3, lack of innovation. Number 4, human psychology. And number 5, you are not subscribing to the channel. Subscribe! So rapid climate change and its consequences cannot be changed in overnight, because we need to consider the needs of billions of people and the reality that almost everything in our world has a carbon footprint. But we need to eliminate climate change as soon as possible. And I believe we can do that. It is possible to solve climate change. I and you together, we can. So in the start of the video, I told that people do not know about the climate change. But you have the power to change that. Share this video with only one person and you can become the climate hero of 21st century. Thank you for watching, and I promise next video will come soon.